Hello friends, welcome back to the second part of the video, that is smart grid. The first part, if you have gone through, I talked about what exactly is the need for a smart grid, what is a smart grid, why we need it. I also told you, how it is going to uh, help us, the consumers, in various ways. Okay. We talked about we had a comparison between a smart grid and an existing grid. We looked at the pros and cons of the existing grid, the problems with the existing grid, and of course we talked about the various components that are used in case of a smart grid. Got it? Now let's get into those components. Let's know now some of these components we need to know about. Okay, may not be for anything else, maybe only for knowledge sake. We need to know what it is, what these components are. If you remember, I talked about the components. When I talked about the components, I mainly talked about four components. The first one was a smart meter. Then I talked about something called phasor measurement. Then I said information transfer and distributed generation. These 4 points I said, these are the components of a smart grid. Okay. Now the second point which I talked about, phasor measurement. This is something which is entirely technical and concerned. The person concerned will be the people who are working at a grid. This is something which we do not have to bother about. So let's leave this point aside because this is not something very important for us as laymen. But the other 3 points we need to know about. All right. So let's start with the first one, that is a smart meter. Now, why we call it a smart meter and what exactly, why exactly is it, how exactly it is smart? First point, very fast point. It recognizes and details the consumption. What does that mean? I am consuming electricity. How it recognizes and details. What this meter do is, throughout the day, it will see how much power I am consuming, at what time, what is the amount of power that I am consuming, what is the time where the power consumption is at peak at my home or at office, whatever it is, at what time the power consumption is the least, all these factors. It records all this data and sends it back to the distribution center. Remember, we said it will be two-way communication. It sends this information back to the distribution center, where the central computer in the distribution center will note this. How this will help? In case of the the power grid will know that, okay, this particular person, this particular organization is consuming power in this particular way. Automatically, the software will ensure that a proper note is taken, so that when power supply is happening to that particular home or organization or what it is, the care is taken to ensure that at peak time, when the power consumption is at the peak, that time least problem arises for that particular consumer. Got it? Maybe an organization, maybe an individual, whatever it is. Got the beauty of this point? Second point is, the central monitoring system will get all the information from the meter on a daily basis, hourly basis, in a time interval. That time interval is of course decided by the distribution center. The meter will keep on sending all this information at that time interval. So that time interval is something which the smart meter, which is set on the smart meter. You can't do it. The person who is installing, he will do it. It will be decided by the grid depending on the capability of the computer system that is installed at the grid. Got it? Next, power outage notification. This is something very, very important. I said the meter can talk with you. I mean, when I say it can talk with me, it's not that I can talk back with it. Okay, maybe someday that will also happen. But at present moment, what will happen if there is a power outage at one particular place? I was telling you, what the distributed power systems do is if there is a power outage due to some reason, power from another place where there is surplus power, this power is automatically supplied to that place where there is a power outage. So obviously, power outage notification, your meter will tell you there will be a power outage. There is going to be a power outage, or maybe there is a power outage. Your meter can announce it for you. The smart meter. Isn't it beautiful? Power quality it will monitor. It will monitor the power supply quality so that feedback is sent back to the distribution center, the smart meter. Alright. Now, power quality monitoring helps the distribution center, the grid, decide what need to be done to ensure smooth power supply, proper power supply with the best quality. Got it? Now, the best thing about the smart meter is the charges which they levy on you. Okay, these charges are levied based on usage, the amount of electricity which you are using. Of course, traditional systems also the amount of units which you are using. But in case, you know, like I said, because of smart monitoring, what it decides at what point of time power supply is leased to this particular home. So that at that point of time, particularly at that point of time, the power supply is less because the requirement is less. It records all those patterns and all these things. And of course, at the end of the month, it can announce the number of units which you have used. You can also choose to say, choose to have warnings that suppose, I'm a person who runs on a budget. So what my meter can do, it can warn me if I'm using excess electricity. This can also be said. If the person who is installing the meter, you can ask him. He will ask you. He will ask you. I'm sorry. He will ask you. Do you want this warning system to be enabled? If you say yes, you will enable the warning system. If it matters to you, got it. So this is smart meter, friends. A very essential component of a power supply, power grid, a smart grid. Got it. Apart from smart meter, of course, we talked about, you know, information transfer. Information transfer, during this we have already discussed. It will transfer all those essential information to the grid so that grid can, the computer at the grid can uh, note them down. It can, record them down, and action can be taken based on that information. And another point which we talked about, the component, that is distributed generation. Distributed power generation helps immensely. It is not a centralized power generation. Centralized power generation, what will happen if that particular station fails where this power is getting generated? It will stop almost everything. But in case the power is generated in a distributed way, the advantage will be if one of the stations fails to generate power, the others are there to meet the requirement, to, for a brief period, to take its place. That is how it helps. Got it? So all these components, friends, have their own values. Okay. Now, uh, you can say, using all these components, the power supply will be better, the power distribution is better, consumption can be monitored in a better way, and it will remove almost all the basic problems which we face in case of power supply, in case of usage of power, in case of, power management. Okay, of course this will help us immensely. And friends, why smart grid? Again, if you ask me the question, I will tell you a few points about it. Finally, why smart grid? Point number one, it will reduce carbon footprints. How it can reduce carbon footprints? Unnecessary wastage of power, unnecessary consumption of power when it is not needed. All these things can be reduced. Ultimately it will reduce the carbon footprint, obvious, the pollution. Okay, it will improve the distribution and management. How that will happen? Through a decision support software which is there, which decides when to supply optimum power, when to stop power supply, when to control the power supply. Okay, all these things that software can manage at a grid. Self-healing, we have discussed that already. Okay, that's the beauty of a smart grid. It can heal itself. The software can detect a problem, and the problem can, if it can heal itself, it will heal. If any human intervention is needed, since it is known, in time action can be taken. Got it? Automated control, distribution is automatically controlled. No manual, what you say, interference is required. Sensors, because of sensors, every single problem can be sensed. No manual inspection is required at all. Nobody has to take that risk. Even from the grid, the employees of the grid, they take the risk when they get onto a power line to check what is the fault. Sometimes it is dangerous, but in case it is a smart grid, it can detect on itself, by itself. Getting my point? And of course, over and above everything, it will increase the efficiency of the power. In a country like India, if smart grid is applied, that figure which I gave you, the power supply figure, it keeps on increasing every year. Okay, and because of power wastage, because of so many other factors, at least in India, according to a statistics, at least 16%, it's alarming. 16% of power is wasted. It's not used properly. So just imagine, through smart grid, these all can be saved. So friends, this is a brief about what smart grids exactly are, how they will help you, help us rather to say, and of course, last but not the least, you know, a day comes when these smart grids, you will have the presence of the smart grids, and you will know that you will be using those smart meters, and automatically you will know, you know, what benefits you are getting out of it. Okay. So friends, now, is the time for the trivia question, which I discussed with you in the last video also. I gave you a question. Okay, I'll be looking at the replies. I have not looked at the replies which came from you. I'll be looking at them. Another question for today. Okay, those of you who have ever used Unix or Linux. Okay, repeat again. Those of you who have ever used Unix or Linux. When you execute a file from the Unix or Linux prompt, let's say in case of Linux, when we execute a file, we execute the file, if the file name is ABC. To execute it, we say /ABC. Why we put that /? This is something technical, but this is a question for all those of you who are watching this video and who use Unix and Linux. In Linux, what do we do? As I said, when we execute, we say /ABC to execute the file ABC. Can I avoid that /? And why I use /? To execute a file? Okay, try to answer this question. Okay, I will expect answers in the comment section from you. All right, so please do give your comments, friends. Please do share the video. Please, once again, it's a request to all of you, Please share it so that others can know about all these topics, all these things. Maybe some of you know it, no denying the fact, but still then it will help you immensely. So please share, please subscribe to my channel, ask your friends to subscribe, and please like, and of course comments, last but not the least. All right, friends. So till I come out with my next video, bye bye from me, and take care. God bless you.